Hi girlies, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Girl Beats World, and today I'm taking a different approach to this tutorial. I am showing you this glorious date night look, but I also wanted to give you guys some insight into what beauty brands are doing in regards to the George Floyd protests. Just going to take a little minute to explain in case you haven't heard what's going on. So George Floyd was the most recent person murdered at the hands of excessive force and police violence. And, you know, he comes on the tail of Ahmaud Arbery's murder as well as Breonna Taylor's murder. And so I really wanted to take time to highlight and shout out the different beauty brands that are taking a clear stance against racial equality, injustice, and oppression. I really want to use my platform, as small as it may be, to show you guys exactly where you should be investing your money if you want to stand on the right side of this fight. So I don't want to waste any more time. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that little notification bell so you can find out when I have new content. Let's get started. So I already did my eyebrows off camera, and don't worry, it's using all brands that you're going to see later today, so they are still part of the fight towards justice and equality. Starting us off, I'm using my Milk Cosmetics primer. This is a Hydro Pro primer, and Milk is doing some really great things. They donated $50,000 of their own money to the cause, and they're also working with YouTuber Snitchery, who is giving all of her commission to the cause. So if you purchase a Milk Cosmetic product and you use the code Snitchery, you get some really great primer and or any of their other products, and you also get to contribute to the different causes. So all about that. I'm using my NARS Cosmetics because they also have acknowledged you know, just the political climate. They've haven't mentioned any donations, but they did pause any sales during Blackout Tuesday. So that, I feel like, is a way of giving back, even if it's not a big way. And that just brings me to a point, like, any contribution is a contribution. You know what I mean? Even if it's calling someone out for saying something racist or saying something discriminatory, like, that's a contribution to a better world, to a, you know, a more united nation. And we have to keep that in mind. If you don't have money to give, that's okay. If you can't buy a single product in this video, no worries. Like, that's not why we're here. We're here to give you different ways that you can contribute and give you the brands that actually did. So if you do ever, you know, want to invest, you know, to invest in brands that actually care about humanity. Now I'm using my ColourPop Cosmetics, and I'm also going to team it up with a little bit of my L'Oreal Paris because I'm running a little low on it. ColourPop donated a clean $300,000 in support towards the fight towards equality and injustice. And L'Oreal, this is their Infallible. It's a little light for me, that's why I'm mixing the two. They have spoken out and have said that they've made a contribution to Black Lives Matter. I've mentioned a couple times Blackout Tuesday, and I don't want you to be sitting here questioning, well, what is Blackout Tuesday? Like, I don't know what that is. I didn't hear about it. I didn't see it. So on Tuesday of this week, June 2nd, the world came together and they agreed to only posting black squares or things that were pertinent to the movement. So everyone posted a black square. They used the hashtag Blackout Tuesday, and they also posted on things like voting locations and which states were voting, and posted more news updates. And it just really helped drown out the noise. And it also really showed exactly how much impact African Americans and their allies have. And that's important because this video is showing you ways to use that voice and use that dollar, that impact, to force these brands to continue to enact change. Like, a financial donation is cute, but You have to be willing to do trainings to help tackle unconscious bias within your corporations as well as externally, because that will help filter out into the world. That is a perfect lead-in into my e.l.f. Cosmetics concealer. e.l.f. donated $25,000 to the Color of Change campaign, and they're also making that commitment that I just said that corporations need to make outside of just, you know, cutting a check and saying, whoop, I did my job to fight towards racial equality, you know. They're also having forums with their employees. They're doing some trainings. They're really having conversations to try to combat racism and inequality from the inside out. So super excited to be using them. And while I buff out this, I just want to talk about just how I've been feeling. Like, it's been really tough. Like, I feel like there's just so much more I could be doing. There's so much more I should be doing. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to end. And, you know, if you're feeling that way, I want you to know that's okay. Like, it's okay if you don't know how to give back and how to contribute. There are different lanes that you can find for yourself and, you know, give back in the way that feels the best for you. Now I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me Powder to just set my face. And I've been going back and forth on whether or not to talk to you guys about some of the racist comments I've gotten recently. Just the other day, I made a comment on the Shade Room. If you don't know what the Shade Room is, it's a popular Instagram blog that covers a variety of issues, but they do focus on like Black media and topics and artists. And I posted a comment on there, and I knew it was going to get a little backlash. It was about cultural appropriation, which everyone acts like it's a dirty word, which I want to have a chit chat with you guys about that too, but that's not this video. And, you know, I got messages that were like, you monkey looking, you N-word, and you are ugly, and that's why white women get all the love. That's why black men don't want black women like you. You're fat. And honestly, it was my first time, I think, getting that level. I've gotten some online bullying before, but never to that extent. So it was really, really shocking for me. Next, I'm using my Maybelline Master Chrome Highlight, and I'm just going to apply that on my cheekbones. So I went back and forth because, like, I didn't want to, you know, feel like I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to talk about things like that and talk about that trauma. And, like, thank God for my Instagram friends and family who, like, I posted them. Like, you send me racist stuff, I'm going to air you out, like, period. And I got so much positive feedback from so many different people. And it just felt nice for people to remind me that I'm loved, I'm beautiful, and those guys were idiots. Now I am using my Juvia's Place Bella, and you already know Juvia's Place made sure to hold it down and speak out against racial equality. They have made $110,000 in different donations, and I'll highlight any of the donations that the different brands contributed to below so you can know who you want to contribute to as well. And yeah, I just love Juvia's for this. Like, I was nervous, you know, I was like, oh God, please let Juvia's have said something when I was doing my research, and they did, they came through. So I can be Bella in my Bella, you know? Now I'm applying some Ben Nye powder all over my T-zone. Ben Nye is also in the fight for justice. They did not list what the amount was, but they did make donations to 3 different causes. The LDF, which is part of the NAACP, it's the Legal Defense and Education Fund, and the Black Futures Fund, as well as the Movement for Black Lives. So they are putting their money where their mouth is, and I just love it. I just love to see it. So going back with my concealer from L'Oreal, I'm just going to apply that all over my eyes. So, and while I do that, I know you're probably thinking, well, Ruth, like, what can I do? What can I do to give back? How can I truly, help? Like, I want to do something. I don't know what to do. And some people are called to protest. Maybe you're meant to be out on the front lines protesting and making sure our voices are heard. Like, we are making changes, we are making impacts, and the brands that I just named are big heavy hitters, and you see they're involved in this. So it's definitely something to consider. When you're thinking about what you can do. Maybe you want to make your voices heard. Maybe your job is honestly just reaching out to the brands who haven't helped online and saying, hey, why aren't you stepping into this fight? What's going on? Where you at? Where are you? Pausing on some of the things that you can do. Let's quickly talk about what we're getting into next. We're getting into eyeshadow. I am using my e.l.f. Cosmetics bite-sized eyeshadow in pumpkin pie. You can see how awesome these colors are. There's some oranges, some browns, a little bit of gold, and we're going to use this to really set this date night look off, which I'll get to. Maybe I'll give you guys a little tea on what I'm doing today, honey, because some of y'all probably wondering, Ruth, who you going on a little date with? I ain't gonna tell you who, of course, but so back to the important stuff. We're getting off topic. Back to the important stuff. So basically what I have to say, or what I feel, is that another way that you can get involved, and this is where I truly have leaned in pretty heavily, is you can get involved by simply, talking to the jobs that you work at. I've spent a lot of time this week drafting letters, talking to my leadership, and really encouraging them to speak up and reach out to people. People are hurting. Black Americans are hurting because, we have to experience this and we have to deal with the trauma of seeing it back to back to back. White America is hurting because, and Latinos and other people, non-Black people of color, are also hurting because, this is some people's first time truly seeing and accepting that we're not in a post-racial society and that people are suffering through this and have been suffering for a long time. And a lot have turned a blind eye to it or just were never exposed. So that's a bit of a shock too. So remind your managers of that, remind your leadership of that, and get them to get involved. Even if it's not a $25 million donation, get them to get involved by just talking to their team. Okay, now I am using, this is pretty. This darker brown, it's the only darker color here, and I'm going to use it on the outside of my eye. Hopefully it's dark enough. If it's not, I gotta dip into another palette. So yeah, I just feel like, some people want to avoid it because it's an awkward conversation. And some people want to avoid it because, avoid it meaning avoid bringing up what's happening and the racial injustice and police brutality because it's awkward and it's offensive. And they feel like, they may be alienating someone else by not saying something. But I'm telling you, not saying something in an effort to not alienate someone else is alienating the person who's going through it, who's being oppressed, who's being, treated differently and poorly. So you want to remind your managers of that. And it's okay to not know what to say. It's okay to not know how to address something. Like, all of that is okay. But let me tell you, what's not okay is how this e.l.f. brown is showing up. So I'm gonna definitely have to dip into my Maybelline Nudes of New York. This palette's $3.99, so it's crazy affordable. That's why I wanted to use it today to show you an affordable date night look, eyeshadow look, but it's not working. So I'm gonna dip into my Maybelline's Nude of New York. It's $11.99, so it's also affordable. The colors just pop a little bit more. I'm using the color Self Starter. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. We want a little drama for date night. You know, we want to give them a little smolder, a little sex appeal. Not too much, but a little dap into the sexy look, and a little smolder, like I said before. So yeah, I definitely think talking to your managers, talking to your corporations, reaching out to your fellow Black American teammates, and just saying, hey, you know, I can't say that I know what you're going through, but I can say that I'm here to be an ally, and I want to help in this fight in any way I can. Don't ask them how you can help. That's your job, to do your homework. There's going to be some resources listed below for you to go and educate yourself. It shouldn't be on someone to be experiencing racism and have to educate other people, right? Right? That's right. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to add to people's burdens, but we are going to acknowledge them. Don't add, acknowledge. It's been a while since I've shown you guys how to do a cut crease, and some of you guys are here for the first time learning about injustice and whatnot. So we're going to do a half cut crease using our L'Oreal concealer. We're going to look up so we can know where to cut, and then we're going to just follow that right along. And it doesn't need to be perfect because this is just a half cut crease. We don't need to do anything too dramatic for the night. Well, if you want to make it more dramatic, you can go full cut crease, honey, but that's not this type of party. So what am I doing? I'm having a little dinner date. The world is still shut down, so this will be a home cooked meal, and we're partnering up together, and it's a first date. I'm hoping he never sees this and doesn't think, oh no, I don't think that's a date, but I'm calling it a date because I need a date. I haven't been out the house since March, so I promised I would tell you guys a little something, and now I have, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I am saying. Now, using a flat makeup brush, I'm just tapping in and highlighting that area that I just cut. And I don't want to disrupt where I put that darker color shade from Maybelline. Now, this has pigment. This is hot. Yeah. Okay, Elf. For $3.99, I mean, can you be mad at it? I can't. Oh, that's pretty. That's so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to use this final color just so you guys can see all the colors being applied, and I'm applying it to the inner corner of my eye. Oh, yeah. Yes. But we do have to go back into Maybelline New York, and we're going to highlight. We do have to go back into our Maybelline New York, and we're going to highlight our brow using Artist and Heroin. Now that we've gotten our eyeshadow on, I am using my Anastasia Beverly Hills and my Anastasia makeup mirror to line my to place my eyeliner on for my falsies that I'm going to place. And Anastasia Beverly Hills, let's talk about them, honey. Anastasia came out to play. Mama is donating $1 million. Yes, $1 million to fighting social injustice, and she's spreading it out, I believe, across different organizations. Like, come on. That's true brand leadership right there. Like, honestly and truly, like, it just doesn't get any better. So I was like, I left a comment. I was like, girl, I'm going to be using y'all for the end of until the end of your days. Like, you gotta respect brands that are stepping up that much. $1 million is not a small commitment to change. Now we're going to use our Ardell Lashes. Ardell did speak out against racial injustice and for equality, and they did not list a financial donation, but that does not mean that they didn't make one. They just didn't list it. So for me, speaking out is, you know, the first step, the first major step in all of these. Oh wow, these are some some baby lashes. Like, you can definitely go more dramatic for your date night. Like I said, this is a home dinner date, so I didn't want to go too crazy, but we're going to jack her up, as I like to say, with some mascara. We can't talk about beauty brands that are for the cause without mentioning Fenty Beauty. So Fenty has spoken out. Rihanna spoken out. They have not pledged online, at least, a financial contribution yet, but knowing Ree, she's going above and beyond. So I just went ahead and included them because, like Ardell, they've spoken out in big ways. So I'm excited to see, how they're going to give back, what their plan of action is. And, like, I work for a company that has took a couple days to talk to their employees to find out what we felt like was the right way to speak out against this and take action against this. And they got feedback. And to some, it just may look like silence and like they don't care, but that may not always be the case. So I don't think that, we should cut off all beauty brands forever. Well, yeah, I do. I think if they never speak on it and they act like this isn't an issue and they act like they don't care, then we should remove our dollars from them. But I also think give people grace to get it, to do it, and to do it right. Because sometimes when these brands rush to post things, it's tone deaf and it's not relevant, and it's actually can be sometimes offensive. So you want them to get it right. I'm now using my ColourPop by Shayla. We already talked about ColourPop's contributions. Shayla's spoken out, is using her platform, which is awesome. I love seeing bloggers use their platforms for good. I want to keep this lip pretty natural today. I know I'm going to give you guys a bold lip soon. I've been doing these like super safe natural lips, but that's what's on trend. I don't know what to tell you. And then we're following up with a little bit more ColourPop with this color lippy stick. Giving us that nice pretty pink palette. All right, girlies, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this date night chit chat video with a cause, we'll call it. Honestly, I know so many people are hurting. I know so many people are going through the emotions. I felt tired. I felt weighed down. But I hope this information makes you feel empowered, makes you want to give back, makes you ready to enter that fight. And honestly, hopefully you can look good along the way. So until next time, bye, girlies.